Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. There's a few articles that came out today that I wanted to talk about, and a couple that you wanted me to talk about. I've actually had a bunch of DMs telling you got to talk about this today, so we'll get right into that. But before we do, let's get to the members. Thank you so much to my newest members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you to Aaron Myers and Sean Donaldson for joining as members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate all the other members and subscribers as well. And so feel free, members, for all members here, please provide a comment or a question about it down below, and I will read it on air. And yeah, and also, if you get a shirt from the shirts down below, and send me a picture of you wearing the shirt or holding up the shirt, and I'll put it on the show as well. All right, let's get into the topics of the day. The first one is actually a little bit more about Krypton, the TV series. There has been some actors from the Krypton TV show that has come out to actually provide comments about Reggae John Page in regards to that article, how he was supposed to have been Seg-El, but he, Jeff Johns says Superman could not have a black grandfather, and so they got Cameron Cuff instead. Well, Colin Salmon, who plays General Zod, the one that doesn't look like Michael Shannon at all, says powerfully important read, not comfortable, but no change lies in comfort. Hashtag so many questions, obviously lending support to Reggae John Page here. Reggae John Page himself had a comment about this. Hearing about these conversations hurts no less now than it did back then. The clarifications almost hurt more, to be honest. Still just doing my thing, still we do the work, we still fly. And so Seg-El himself didn't really have to comment, but he did, graciously so. He said, Reggae is an inspiration to me and thousands of other artists. No one should feel okay benefiting from individuals or institutions that treat their fellow humans so unjustly. Change must happen. So obviously he read the news, not very much happy with this. It's absolutely respectful that he did this. Absolutely, he's the one that they chose instead of Reggae. And I love Cameron Cuff. I love Krypton series. I wish it continued. But much respect to Cameron. Thanks for speaking out about this. But not only him. Ray Fisher also, of course, retweeted Reggae. Says, I feel for you, Reggae John. If ever you need, I'm around. Keep flying. So, Reggae John Page, absolutely. Hopefully, I know he's got a lot of work. I'm sure he's got a lot of work. So, but there is a little bump in the road in regards to Jeff Johns, and it could have been handled a little bit better, I think. But now a lot of that is coming out now, exposing Jeff Johns in a way. And yeah, he's being dragged through the mud this past 2 days. Being certainly not Reggae, but Jeff Johns has been dragged through the mud. So that was just a little bit update on that. I just figured you want to know from the Krypton actors themselves. I don't know if anybody else had come out. They probably did, but that is one of them. So there are a few of them right here. Krypton series. All right, well, let's get into now Black Adam. Black Adam, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson himself, is ready. He says, Black Adam ready. It's always the work we quietly put in when no one is watching that changes the game. Grateful for the grind and the face of my warrior spirit, always watching my back. Black Adam, DC Universe changed the game. Production kicks off this week and he's ready to go. He don't need no padded suit. Look at that man. Jesus Christ, Shazam's going to die. Zachary Levi is going to die. All the kids are going to be murdered. Yeah, I don't know how the Justice Society of America is going to take on this guy, but seriously, that is a monster. He looks like a villain and a superhero at the same time. That's why he's probably playing Black Adam, wanting to play Black Adam. But yeah, from all the movies that are coming out from Warner Brothers in terms of DC films, Black Adam is certainly the one that I'm really looking forward to the most. And judging from the little post, the community post I put up, I think it was more than 4,000 people voted. You agree as well. Like a lot of you said no when you want to restore the Snyderverse, which is fine, which is awesome. But for you, any of you who were thinking that you were watching a DC film, absolutely Black Adam took the cake. So Black Adam, the biggest probably movie coming out of DC films right now, for me at least, is going to be pretty major. I don't know if it's going to live up to the expectations of a giant Black Adam film. I hope it does. I know someone was cast today, but like I said, it didn't say what role did that person play. There's a lot of different rumors going around of who that person plays, but and usually I would report on that, but usually I just report if we know who actually plays them, right? Just like Pierce Brosnan is playing Dr. Fates, I had to report on that. I know there was a certain individuals that were cast in this movie, but I don't know who they are going to play. But I think we'll find out. I think the production is this week. I don't know what they're gonna. Sounds like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, the Garcias are kind of doing their own promotion at this point in time, and so maybe they'll pull out the suit. I would be cool. I mean, once he's look at that man. Like once put on the suit, I want to see what are you gonna be. Is it a problem? I mean, like. You're working out, and the suit has to be in a way that it will always fit him. Like I can imagine him just working out, pumping. I was like, oops, we're gonna have to adjust the suit once again. So, but I want to see him in a suit. I want to see the official Black Adam suit. I want to see Dr. Fate suit, Atom Smasher, Cyclone, Hawkman. Come on, Aldous Hodge's Hawkman. I want to see what that looks like as well. And and one of the biggest things is like, well, who else is going to be in this movie? Will Superman show up? Will Superman show up? And that's why I want to talk about this. This is something that you guys brought to my attention. Geekosity had put out another article, and you guys wanted me to talk about it. So I'm like, okay. Well, like I said before, I don't know this, and I think it's Mikey Sutton, anything about him or his source or whatever. So I'm only taking a look at this only to see what are they saying and what you guys are reading, right? And so, like I said, I have no idea this is true or not. No idea. But it makes the discussion that goes with it makes sense, and only makes sense because Henry Cavill and Dwayne The Rock Johnson are with the $7 production, and they are part of the Garcias represent Henry Cavill. So it makes sense, and we've already seen that picture, Dwayne sitting with Henry Cavill for years now. Of course, they want Henry Cavill to be continued as Superman. They rep him, right? So they definitely do want that. And in this article, they suggest that The Rock wants to restore the Snyderverse. I don't necessarily know or see that as him actually wanting Snyder to come in, or he wants. I just think of it, if that were the case, and like I said before, it would be because Dwayne The Rock Johnson always goes after the next big thing. And so if the Restore Snyderverse is a big thing, then he wants to take a little bit of it. He wants to be a part of it if he could. And if he doesn't want to be a part of it, he's always talked about, even at DC Fandom, how he wants to fight Wonder Woman, he wants to fight Superman and Aquaman and stuff like that. So for him to go after Justice Society, which he feels like that's his Justice League, right? That's his Justice League, him versus Justice League movie. But it's not the same as him. It's the Black Adam versus Justice Society is cool and big, but it's not as big as Black Adam versus Justice League. He knows what brings in box office numbers. He knows how to be an action star. He knows how to work it. He wants this. He wants it right there, right? The Snyderverse, the Snyder Cut was successful. It was huge. People were talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Well, he's Black Adam. As being Black Adam, like him being challenging, he's a wrestler, right? He's challenging other wrestlers. That's what he wants to do. He wants to have that title. It says, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Black Adam versus Zack Snyder's Justice League. How big is that? That would sell tickets. That's what he's looking at. If that's what's playing here, you can probably see that that's what would be what he would probably be thinking, right? In terms of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? He's that challenger. He's got the belt. He wants to challenge the next big top thing. Well, why do you think he reached out to MCU at one point in time? He's like, Kevin Feige, give me a call. That Endgame was awesome. So it's like, he wants to be part of these bigger things and things like that. So absolutely, I do. Like I said, I don't know if any of this is going on or not. But if you're thinking about it, if his mindset were like that, that was probably how it would be. That's probably not less likely that he actually wants. Hey, Zack, I want you to finish your vision and things like that. Not really. I think for The Rock, it's more like, I'm going to challenge those guys now. I mean, if he could, he'd be like, Black Adam versus the Avengers if we could. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm going to take them all on. I think that's his mindset there. So, but it's having Henry Cavill be associated with the Garcias, associated with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they want to make $7 production, making incredible stuff for DC. They start with Shazam. It was good, but in terms of critically great, critically acclaimed great, but box office okay. If Black Adam becomes a huge hit, then they've got a lot more chips with them now, and they can pretty much also get Henry Cavill back in somehow. And like I said before, in the different universes, there's the Hamada section, which they're trying to do with Flash and everything, and Wonder Woman 3 and Aquaman 2, stuff like that. Then you got the Snyderverse, if that ever happens, and then you got The Rock. The Rock has his own, the $7 production. They're doing Shazam with New Line Cinema. Then Black Adam, that's kind of like its own separate thing as well. And then you got, Robert Pattinson. But Robert Pattinson, that's an interesting one, and we could talk about that pretty soon. But I could totally see if Black Adam is truly successful, he has a lot of plans for that future. I mean, Hiram Garcia even said it, that they have more plans for where they're going to take this that go farther beyond Black Adam. So that's already out there. So if anything, it's a pretty good guess at that, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Black Adam. But because we're talking about Geekosity, you also send me that. You also send me this. DC Films wants J.J. Abrams to direct Multiverse Justice League. Like I said, I don't know if any of this is true. I'm just going to read it and take apart the things that we already know and that's already been talked about, including J.J. Abrams coming into Warner Media. They spent $500,000 getting him Bad Robot Productions to come into Warner Media to make projects, to produce stuff, right? And one of those big ones that everybody was talking about that time when J.J. Abrams came aboard was that it was expected that he probably could do a Superman or a Green Lantern, or at least even be part of DC in some form, shape, or form. And for the beginning, it was looking like just Justice League Dark stuff. Justice League Dark, Zatanna now. Zatanna's actually being written right now. And also, we finally know that, I think it's Ta-Nehisi Coates is making that Superman movie, that Black Superman movie, and that's under the Bad Robots Productions, under JJ as well. So that's finally coming true. That was something we've talked about for a long time, that J.J. Abrams wants to do a Superman movie. A lot of us expected that it could have been Henry Cavill, but no, that's not the case. That he wants to do his version of Superman, and in this case, it's... I'm thinking it's Calvin Ellis. Like, I know I said Val Zod, but I'm like, maybe Calvin Ellis, because of the Justice League insinuations that J.J. Abrams probably cannot help himself, and like, I want to create my own universe. So you got another universe that could be coming up that's even separate from the Hamada-verse as well. Maybe. I don't know. But JJ is going to do what JJ is going to do, and he's going to make his own stuff. So whether this Hamada burger, that's hilarious. But so this article kind of suggests that that's a possibility, that he may be doing a Justice Incarnate version of it, and that has Calvin Ellis on it. I want to even add that there was already talk before that they're trying to get Robert Pattinson into as the Batman for this universe somehow, because J.J. Abrams knows Matt Reeves and so on and so forth. This is all speculation. I am knowing none of this is coming true or not. I don't know, but it's starting to make a lot of sense that J.J. Abrams is playing with these different ideas and growing his own little multiverse, if you will. He could make his own Justice League. He could make his own Justice League, and it could connect to his own Justice League Dark. He could be doing some big stuff on his own, separate from everything else. And I think The Flash, which is going to be, in a way, trying to figure out a way to explain all these different multiverses that are happening, business-wise, and trying to make it as a creative explanation to all these different business decisions that are happening out. $7 Production, Bad Robot Productions, and please just do the Stone Quarry Productions over on HBO Max or something. But all these different things are part of that business plan, I think, to make multi-dimensional characters that Warner Brothers are trying to say. And J.J. Abrams is definitely part of the plan, because once you start Superman, nowadays, you don't just stop there, right? Once you start Superman, there's always a guarantee. There's a Justice League right after that, or sometime right after that. That's just how it works nowadays. You start Iron Man, you start a new Iron Man, it's expected you're going to do it in Avengers. Marvel has already set that trend. DC has already set that trend. You don't just do a one-off movie anymore, especially with a caliber like J.J. Abrams. He's making his Justice League Dark. So what he's going to do? He's doing Zatanna. What is he going to do? He's going to do Constantine. Maybe Swamp Thing, and maybe so on and so forth. Once he starts Superman, it doesn't stop there. He's going further than that. You bet your butt he is. It's just expected at this point, and is the best guess we can ever think of if that would happen in itself. So, but that's what I wanted to comment on, and people were asking me to comment on. Actually, this is actually a Justice League topic. I don't know why it said Black Adam, but Justice League topic for this. J.J. Abrams to direct a multiverse Justice League. Perhaps. But we'll see, I guess. All right, so let's move on with more Justice League-ish talk. Actually, it's Justice Con. I should actually take that off right now. Justice Con. A new guest announcement at Justice Con. This is getting bigger and bigger. We had Joe Manganiello and a whole bunch of cast and stuff like that. We now have Dave Bautista, Army of the Dead. He's coming to Justice Con, which is awesome. April 18th, 2021. Can't get here soon enough. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. A fantastic weekend. I am so happy to be a part of it. And more information will come of where I'm going to be and part of that later on. But it's exciting to see Dave Bautista joining Justice Con. So this is great. Definitely, it's called Justice Con, but it's more like a Snyder Con, a real Snyder Con. But since we call it Justice Con, it's going to be called Justice Con. So that's awesome. That's great to see. So that's Justice Con. All right. Now let's get into Justice League. This little article came out today. Big headline, Variety. Godzilla vs. Kong boosts HBO Max to one of strongest weeks since launch. Data suggests. And people got triggered. Lots of people got triggered over this. And even more so because you can't even read the article unless you pay into the subscription or something. You have to actually... When you click on it, you can't even see it. But luckily, I have great friends in high places. I consider them great friends in high places. But has an article for me to read. So, which is that article that I was actually paid for. So, HBO Max streaming share. They got this big graph right here. So, I'm going to read to you the article, and I'm trying to trying to make sense of what is actually happening here. So last week's premiere of Godzilla vs. Kong could help April 2021 go down as a big month of engagement for Warner Media's nearly one-year-old streaming service, HBO Max. That's according to connected TV analytics provider T-Vision, which is this graph, which provided exclusive data to Variety intelligence platforms showing that HBO Max during the week of March 28 accounted for more time spent with subscription services among panel members than any other week since the streamer launched in May of 2020, save for the week of and following Wonder Woman 1984 debuting and Godzilla vs. Kong premiering in March 31st. So this is what they're saying. This is a big thing, right? After that. So, T-Vision measures viewing across all major US SVODs, including Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, Disney+, Apple TV, HBO Max, Peacock, CBS All Access and Discovery Plus, also YouTube, Roku Channel, Pluto TV, Tubi. The analytics company tracks viewings of nearly 25,000 titles among 5,000 households, which is really only 14,000 individuals across the U.S. on connected TVs. So be wary of that. It also says right here, this sample size is really only 14,000 individuals, and it's tracked through TV. Okay, so that's just a sample size. It's really not a big picture. This is third-party numbers. Third-party data firms' numbers suggest the week of March 28th was HBO Max's third biggest week since May of 2020. So May's down here. Okay, you see where my mouse is? And March. So that's interesting. Third biggest week since May 20 when measured by share of weekly time spent with streaming services. So they're saying this is the biggest, yet Wonder Woman 1984 is all the way up here. HBO Max's fourth and fifth biggest periods by this measure were the weeks of December 13th and February 7th. The following events is respectively likely help, at least in part, explain the big engagement during those weeks. The streamer finally launched on Roku devices on December 17th. Okay, it launched on Roku on December 17th and debuted the now Best Picture nominated Judas and Black on February 12th. Okay, it's pretty clear Wonder Woman 1984 was a big debut. Just how big relative to other HBO Max films releases is less obvious. Oh. So it's not really obvious. I mean, a lot of people probably subscribed into this knowing that all these theater movies are going to be shown. That's why it went up so high, right? I mean, I subscribed way before this, but I know people subscribed to this because, you know, we know Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to come out, so we all subscribed during Wonder Woman 1984, which is interesting. And we also watched Wonder Woman 1984 as well. Had larger view. Okay, Warner Bros. Said without providing numbers. So they're still not providing numbers. GVK had a larger viewing audience than any other film or show on HBO Max since launch. Okay, well this graph really doesn't make sense. Then this should be like a lot higher than this, if that's what they're saying. Right? That's kind of weird. Moreover, Godzilla vs. Kong accounted for 8.1% of U.S. streams of the top 100 most watched movies among 2 million real good users. Okay, now we're going to real good users. Oh, that was the other graph I want to pull up. Okay, so this is the real good users. Among 2 million real good users from April 2nd to 4th, according to data provided exclusively to Variety Intelligence platform, that share of streams was lower during the opening Friday, Sunday periods for The Little Things, 7.4, Zack Snyder's Justice League, 6.3. And then later on, it's reported about Samba TV, but I already talked about that before. So just looking at these charts, which is very interesting, like it's very different. Like this is TV, connected TV devices. Okay, all right, that's cool. So it's connected TV devices. Sample size is only 14,000 individuals. That's all. And they're saying that this could possibly be Wonder Woman 1984 because it's during that time, which is true. And this could possibly be Godzilla vs. Kong. This could but it doesn't say that if all these people just, you know, have already subscribed. That's interesting. But it says Godzilla vs. Kong beat that. But obviously it didn't. Obviously, and then you go to this chart, which is real good. Notable HBO Max film debuts, opening share, 8.1%. Little Things 7.4. Zack Snyder's Justice League seemingly beat Wonder Woman 1984. But again, there's something weird about this as well because the dates are kind of wrong. They're only taking in like a weekend. So Godzilla vs. Kong should have been way more because Godzilla vs. Kong came out on March 31st. So that's 2 days, almost 3 days prior to this opening weekend start. So they're not taking, they should be taking the actual opening weekend start. I don't know about little things. Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, the night of March 17th, which is into March 18th. So there's a whole day that's gone there. Wonder Woman 1984 is correct because that was on a Christmas. That's weird. It's just not consistent. It's just not consistent. And it's very hard to make heads or tails on these numbers when some say this, some say that, and it still doesn't make sense. Like this graph is terrible, and it doesn't match. It doesn't even match their own headline. I mean, their headline's Godzilla vs. Kong boosts HBO Max to one of its strongest weeks since launch. Well, no, Wonder Woman 1984, according to this graph, just beat that by a whole lot, by like 2%. So, I don't know. And it's weird that you had to pay to get into this. I mean, there's a lot of articles that had to pay into this, but I wish they would let people just read this as much as, well, now you hear me say it. So, yeah. I'm going to wait for the HBO Max numbers. This is this third-party stuff. They even said Warner Brothers didn't provide numbers. And they're like, it's less obvious what's going. They even said that. But just how big relative to other HBO Max film releases is, quote-unquote, less obvious. So it's like, I don't know what we're freaking out over. This is really nothing. So hopefully there's some news during the Investor Day. That's coming out. AT&T's quarter one earnings, April 22nd. Hopefully that would happen. There's a little thing that my fellow Russ Barnes, who made me that tinfoil hat, had pulled together, has a tweet out, says, who among the Restore the Snyderverse community own AT&T stock? We're having a big chat over on that chat, so please reach out to Russ Barnes, at Russ Barnes 33, or tweet under this tweet. I'll link this tweet in the description below, and let us know if you have AT&T stock. I think what we're going to do, we're going to hold a meeting where we can vote as shareholders for AT&T in terms of stuff. So let's try that. And that's another way we can try as well. And why not, right? For that investors meeting that's coming up. So I'll link that, and please join in and be part of the conversation. Be part of the vote as well for Restore the Snyderverse. Right. But at least it's kind of cool to see that, DC Comics has not totally threw away the Snyderverse. If you watch this, is a nice little animated Secret Files on Origins of Superman and Lois Lane. You can't hear it here because I don't want to get flagged, but it is the Man of Steel theme for this. The Man of Steel theme plays, the Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel theme plays out the entirety of this video. So it's really cool that they did that, and I like that because usually they would just put the Christopher Reeve, the John Williams score regardless, but no, they decided to put the Man of Steel theme in this, which is nice, which is really cool to see, to have a little bit of that recognition, a little bit. And also they even put out a little blog in regards to, in an instant, Batman and Superman's relationship changed forever, and they revisit how one iconic moment impacted that, the Martha saying Martha, right? That whole Martha. They even explain it brilliantly. They explain it for people who don't understand why the Martha, it was such an important thing. I really enjoyed this article, and yes, they put in that, Zack Snyder's Justice League is the last thing in the director's vision, but they got to go by whatever Warner Brothers says at the moment. But at least they're putting a little bit of love into the Snyder Cut. DC Comics themselves are putting a little bit of love, explaining it. bringing us in, something that Warner Brothers should do as well. Like, bring us in, bring in the Snyderverse into the DC Comics love, because it is part of DC. Snyderverse is part of DC. It's not some other brand. I mean, it's a brand within a brand, right? So Snyderverse is part of DC. Zack Snyder's Justice League, Clark's Humanity brought Bruce back, so they Scoot, come on. Scoot. But anyway, but yeah, it makes sense, and it's great to see them have a little bit of respect that way, at least. It gives us great hope that even though Warner Brothers is trying to throw away the Snyderverse, DC Comics still kind of, in a way, embraces the Snyderverse as part of DC. So hopefully that continues as we get further, and hopefully restore the Snyderverse as well. So that's all. All right, let's get into the members' comments and questions now. Starting with, let's see, where we got here. Talveve Sufo. Chris, my man, do you know why they canceled Krypton that was on Sci-Fi Channel? And why didn't Warner Brothers pick this show up? I thought the show was good, and it was good at least for me to understand where Superman roots came from. At least Krypton gave me that understanding of Superman roots. I hope they bring the show back and see where they would take it. Superman grandfather doesn't know how important his grandson would be to the people of the Earth. They left us hanging with so many questions. Have you seen the show? If you did, what are your thoughts about it? I love the show. I've seen it. I've seen all the seasons. So, which there was only 2. But like, I really enjoy the show, and I enjoyed where it was going to be taking. We were going to have Darkseid. I was like, yeah. I mean, it went pretty out there, and I would guess it's like an alternate origin because we were messing with time and stuff like that, and so that made it even more like, oh, I don't even know what's going to happen next. I mean, I would expect it probably needs to reset the timeline so that Superman exists again. But other than that, it was a really enjoyable show, and one of the best usage of Brainiac ever, and they had Doomsday in it and stuff like that. It was cool, but unfortunately, the ratings weren't there. That's what happened. The ratings were like half. Season 2's ratings were half of like season 1, so they never did season 3, and they couldn't even get those, even with a new audience on DC Universe. It just never came up, just like Swamp Thing, right? It doesn't matter what the internet likes, the numbers show. That's why watching Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max is probably more important than how much we're saying restore the Snyderverse on Twitter. So, but anyway, so that's why it didn't happen. Unfortunately, I would have loved to see it happen. That would have been great, but unfortunately, it's not going there anymore. Unfortunately. I feel pity for Andy Muschietti for having to deal with this even before his movie can start shooting. I agree. It sucks. I can't even help, feeling how Muschietti's are feeling. I mean, imagine their own DMs. I'm sure people are tagging them or DMing and says, hey, are you going to restore Snyderverse? Or, hey, do you like Zack Snyder's work? Or, I mean, it's just, and I hope not many people are doing that, but it's just like, leave them alone. I mean, like, it's not them. It's definitely Warner Brothers. They're trying to make their project. They have their own love for the project. It sucks that they probably, we wanted Ray Fisher as Cyborg. We have him included in the story. And Warner Brothers decided to, no, not him. So it's like, they're in another shitty situation. Another shitty situation, just like James Gunn was in a shitty situation. And when they're trying to just do their stuff, they're just trying to make their movie. So Annie and Barbara, man, I don't even know. Or even Sasha, right? Sasha Calle, she's like Supergirl. She was so excited to be Supergirl, and I don't know if she's reading this stuff or looking at this stuff and wondering, oh my God, what did I get myself into? I feel bad. I mean, it really is Warner Brothers should just come out and apologize and say, hey, we respect this, we do this. It just. And it's not right for people to go after the creatives. If you're a man, go after Warner Brothers, but not the creatives and not the projects that they're with. But it's going to happen. People are going to, and they probably already are. And I just feel terrible for Sasha Kaye, Annie Muschietti, Barbara Muschietti, and the rest of the team when they're just really trying to make a movie. So. Zod, there's only one way to end this, Cal. Either I die or you do. I feel like this is Warner Brothers right now when it comes to Zack, Snyderverse, or Ray. Yeah, very, very much. Thank you for reading the lengthy article. I know. John Berg's apology was a surprise. The best move for Warner Brothers is for the rest of the execs to follow suit. I doubt it, though. Yeah. I can't believe Warner's exec said that about Zack manipulating Ray Fisher. That's basically saying Ray didn't care about being racially abused until Zack told him he should be. That is Warner's being overtly passively racist, and I'm sure Zack has grounds to sue them for defamation with their conspiratorial claims that Zack was a master manipulator to try and gain control of DC movies. DC execs have really literally lost the plot. Oh, you think he can do that? Oh, I wonder. The other cut of GVK probably isn't finished at all, though. Adam is still happy with the finished film, though. Guessing we dodged this film is too dark, will it? Yeah, it's not. So he's happy for it right now. At least he publicly spoke about it. Well, David Ayers spoke about that as well. But we'll see later on if he's, and it has to come from him anyway. So if he wants to put out a director's cut, then I'd love to see it. May 20th, 2021 will be the 1-year anniversary of when we learned we would get the Snyder Cut. I believe we will still get a huge announcement on May 20th, 2021. No source, just faith. I'm going on faith. Let's go, restore the Snyderverse. That's all we have right now, really. Faith, Alfred. Faith in this. Faith, Michael. Faith. Sean Donaldson. I gotta admit, I fanboyed the monsters, but I might be getting old because I didn't really like it. It was more like a cartoon story than a mega story epic I thought we could have had. But I'm glad everyone likes it. I want more. I like the movies quite a bit. Just felt this one was for the kids, and they deserve it. Been tough couple years. Yeah, I'm with you. I want more, and that's just me being, I'm a MonsterVerse fan. Anytime anybody says I have more, I'm like, oh, okay, I want to see it. And it doesn't mean I don't like the movie itself. I thought it was a fun little nice romp, but I feel it has a less rewatchability for me for some reason than like Godzilla King of the Monsters. But everybody's different, and I respect that everybody likes whatever version they like. LOL, I wouldn't know. I'm not a black person. Duh, respect. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I mean, duh. Like, that's something anybody should see if they're not that race or something, right? You gotta be humble about it. Don't think you know any more better unless you are that type of person, or that person. I love what we got from the movie, but they should had kept in parts they cut. This is essentially their Avengers Endgame type of movie. Just go all out. Yeah, I mean, if it were to end, right? I mean, that was the thing. Like, see, this is the whole situation. It was a Batman versus Superman and Justice League situation. Like, Justice League was supposed to be like, that's it, because we're losing money on this. Or in terms of Batman v Superman, they actually made money, but they just wanted more than what they thought. But Godzilla versus Kong, Godzilla King of the Monsters. Okay, let's go. Godzilla 2014 was the highest grossing MonsterVerse movie. Then came Kong Skull Island, but it was lower. So it was going downwards. Kong Skull Island, King of the Monsters, lower than Kong Skull Island. They expected Godzilla vs. Kong to have been lower than that and said, that was it. Well, also, Thomas Tull, who started that whole thing, legendary, he was gone. And he said that he only planned up to Godzilla vs. Kong. So in all, pretty much, that was supposed to have been done. That would have been Avengers Endgame, right? But same time, with the response of King of the Monsters, they decided to cut it down, chop it up, streamline it, make it so that the general audience and mainstream and maybe teenagers would be able to go, because teenagers, kids, they can't sit around they need to be like that, and that really what that movie felt like. It was like bap, So, and it worked. I mean, it was successful. So I think with it being successful in a way, though COVID, it was with COVID, that could be an excuse. But with COVID, it did a little bit better than King of the Monsters. So there is a slight chance that we could get more. So the execs complain that Victor only smiles twice. Somehow I'm reminded that of the Captain Marvel situation, even though she actually smiles a lot in her film. To be honest, with Captain Marvel, the smile situation was all because of that sad marketing and the fact that the smile more thing turned out to be a line in the movie because of questions about authenticity of the situation. Were people really complaining about it much, or was it a part of the pseudo-feminist marketing? Meanwhile, the issues with Cyber are all too real, and for him, the studio does not have his back the way Disney and Marvel had Brie Larson's. Yeah. Didn't know about Captain Marvel. The people said they didn't smile. I don't remember that. Interesting. Jeff Johns telling a black woman he knows more about black woman's hair than she does. It's amazing how unaware he really is. I know. Just imagine saying that. Like, it just doesn't... Like she didn't have to be black. Like, if a woman... respect your women, man. Like, just, you know, it's weird. So it felt that's very weird. So the director of communications at Warner Media exposes that the unnamed reliable sources saying Ray Fisher has been uncooperative in the investigation, etc. were speaking based on third-hand info, and were speaking without approval. The funny thing is people have been interpreting those statements as official statements that were therefore credible. Funny how that works out. And a lot of that is true. You're right. I mean, we've been through that. Snyder Cut is, according to a source, Snyder Cut doesn't exist. That's a myth. That's all third-hand information. We know that now. If there's no name on it, it's probably somebody we don't even know. You know, Ray Fisher's wariness when Forster kicked off the conversation saying she was an Obama appointee points to a major issue in Hollywood. As I've brought up a lot, the Hollywood establishment has been notoriously political since the 2000s, openly expressing support of the political left to the point of the new blacklist, where only a few open conservatives like Clint Eastwood and Vince Vaughn get much work anymore, despite being longtime stars in the industry. And yet, amid the establishment's open leftism, we see rampant examples of widespread sexism and racism, the Justice League affair bringing all that into focus, and the aforementioned Obama appointee was assigned to downplay any racial concerns, not address them. Accountability over entertainment, and it's all coming together. I mean, Hollywood has been always been political. Chris, thank you for reading the lengthy article. And you're welcome, man. I was wondering, it's like, should I? But yeah, I think people, maybe not much people had time to read it, so I might as well read it myself. Aaron Myers, so excited to see what Dwayne brings to the Teth Adam role. You can rest assured he will do the character justice. He truly knows and respects him. I've been waiting for his Black Adam since 2014, like I've said. He's going to be huge, and he's been really, you know, pushing Black Adam for a long time. So in a way, it's kind of like, wow, we're finally getting to see it. Production's finally starting this week. Congratulations. You've been going at it for years now. Seven years now. 7 years now since he's been Black Adam. We're finally getting to see him as Black Adam. If that's congratulatory enough. About to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League again, brothers. I just can't get enough. Restore Snipers. Absolutely. Keep watching Zack Snyder's Justice League when you can. Dave Bautista is Bane in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, I could see that. Yeah, and he wanted to be Bane, right? At one point, did I remember that right? That would be awesome. He'd be great as a Bane in Ben Affleck's Batman or something. If Bane's not already dead. But, like, that would be cool to see. I love that. All right, well, that is it for tonight. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for watching. I just said that. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of entertainment news and content, please click the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time. Bye.